Hello, avid readers, book nerds, or casual observers. Welcome to the Read Along, brought to you by the Lit Round Table. I'm Anna.
And I'm Joseph, and this is our discussion of the Lies of Locke Lamora, Book 1 of the Gentleman Bastard series by Scott Lynch.
Okay, timer is set. So, chapters 4 and chapter 5 of the Lies of Locke Lamora. The first chapter, or chapter 4, I should say, is meeting Kappa
Barsavi. Kappa
I'm having a
Barsavi.
heck of a time with names today. Okay, so, first thing.
I'm grinning.
The great debate of last week's podcast was whether or not the Duke and the Kappa were the same person.
And they are not.
They are not. So that was just my poor reading comprehension skills. Which I don't have poor reading comprehension skills. I was just confused. So they're not the same person. That's cleared up. I know you all were stressed out about it. You don't need to be.
Yeah. All four. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we have more than 4 listeners.
I know, I'm just kidding.
We've got a good little team of listeners.
Yeah.
They're wonderful.
I kid. Love you, Leanne.
And Jordan. And Mom and Dad. It's too bad I only listed 4 people. There's more than 4. Anyhow, so the chapter 4 was all about meeting the Kappa.
Yes.
What a ride for a chapter.
That was a roller coaster.
Oh my goodness.
Things that I liked were I liked how we got kind of a glimpse into Bugs and his backstory as they were on their way to go meet the Kappa when they went through the Cauldron area.
Yeah.
The area of the city that's called the Cauldron, which is like super, I pictured as like the super rundown, dilapidated sort of just area where all of the sort of thugs and undesirable people live, for lack of a better word.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the shady part of town, and Bugs doesn't talk about it a lot apparently, and I'm really hoping that we get some kind of blurb where he gets to talk about his upbringing and like what made him join the Gentleman Bastards.
Right.
I'm really curious about that. But then when they went in to actually meet with Kappa Barsavi, that was a very intense exchange.
Yes. So the interesting thing with this chapter is that we learn, kind of out of the blue for us, is that there have been these other killings of the Guristas, which are the gang leaders. Just like randomly being killed by someone called the Grey King, who is kind of a mysterious, in the shadows figure who is causing all kinds of problems for the Kappa. So, and that has made the Kappa very agitated and paranoid. Mm-hmm. Rightfully so, I think.
Yeah.
But we also got to meet the Kappa's daughter, Nazca, which we had kind of seen previously.
We met her as a small child.
Yes, but now she's an adult and
still
very
wearing the
capable.
metal spiky boots.
Yes.
Which I think is great.
Yep. But she's got a real head for numbers, and she's a pretty cool character. I'm excited to see more of her. Mm-hmm. And we find out that the Kappa is trying to create an alliance between Locke and his daughter, which...
I'll give you 3 guesses as to how this alliance would happen.
Yeah. Yep. And the first 2 don't count, so...
Yeah, so he wants him to court his daughter.
Yes.
And eventually get married, so that he can take on an advisory role someday when he dies or retires.
Because his sons are...
Dolts.
Yeah. They're good at what they do, but they don't use a lot of caution.
Yeah, they're not as smart as Nazca.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of an interesting family dynamic they have.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, when Locke goes in to actually meet with Kappa Barsavi, he is in the middle of interrogating / torturing these other gang members about what they know about the Grey King. Mm-hmm. Because it was their gang boss that just got killed the previous day or so. Mm-hmm. And he's questioning them and torturing them. And then we meet another character who is Kappa Barsavi's basically torturer.
His name is Sage Kindness.
Isn't that just the creepiest name for someone who is a torture expert? Mm-hmm. Sage Kindness.
And He is nasty.
He is disgusting, and part of the reason he's so disgusting is because of how gentle and like kind he speaks as he's torturing the people. He's very disturbing.
Yeah.
And I won't say it was fun to read because it was not, but I am curious to see what interactions he has with some of our main characters later on too, if any of the main characters end up on the other end of Sage Kindness's knives or whatever disgusting, horrible torture devices they have. That was a rough scene. I'm not going to lie. That was a rough scene to read. It was pretty gross.
I did skim a fair amount of it because I was like, oh gosh, okay. So, not for the light of heart.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty rough. But
yeah,
it was still very entertaining to read the entire chapter. The whole chapter was very entertaining. We finally got to see Kappa Barsavi in the present time of like older Locke.
Mm-hmm.
He is still around. And yeah, we both had the same speculation about the Grey King after this chapter.
Mm-hmm.
We both thought that the Grey King was Locke's former love interest. That maybe she was
current love interest. We're not really sure. She hasn't shown up
right
in person yet. She's just mentioned a couple times.
And we thought that maybe that was her and that she's back in town stirring up the pot and trying to get back at Barsavi for some unknown reason. But the next chapter, which is the Grey King,
we meet him.
We do.
And it's a him.
Yeah, we meet the Grey King. It's not her, unfortunately.
No. He is a formidable character.
Yeah.
Because he has in his, I don't want to say possession, because he does not own the Bonds Mage.
In his employ.
In his employ, he has a Bonds Mage, which is the only kind of magic user in this world, apparently.
As far as we know.
As far as we know. I said apparently.
Oh, okay.
Was that your turn or my turn?
Fine.
We both shifted at the same time. And he is terrifying. His name is Falconer, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that's his actual name.
It's not his actual name, but that's what but just like I don't think Sage Kindness's born name is Sage Kindness, but that is what he is going by.
Yeah, that's the name that the Grey King refers to him as. He's the Falconer. Mm-hmm. He has what he calls a familiar, which is it's a scorpion hawk, which is a hawk with scorpion stingers on both of his feet, kind of as the rear talons. They're just these giant scorpion stingers,
and you can see the green venom, like
the venom sacs.
It's gross. It gross me out. I don't like
scorpions. Pretty freaky. One of my favorite moments of the entire book so far, though, was the flashback scene where Locke is talking to Chains about Bonds Mages, and Chain says, mind your P's and Q's when you're around a Bonds Mage. They're very powerful. If you kill a Bonds Mage, every other Bonds Mage will come after you and kill you. Mm-hmm. So
they'll drop whatever they're doing. Doesn't matter what they're doing.
All of them will drop what they're doing and kill you. That's basically the way it works. Mm-hmm. Because they have superiority complexes and they're entitled.
And they're an elitist cult.
Yeah. Because they can use magic, which makes them
very powerful.
All powerful. Mm-hmm. So, but immediately after that, it cuts back to present time, and Locke just insults the Bonds Mage right away, and his bird. It was, I laughed out loud when there was very, very skillful storytelling and writing on Scott Lynch's part. I enjoyed that a lot. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my notes for this chapter was that this book reads like a slice of life, because we learn new revelations as the characters do, and the flashbacks work like memories do, right? So it's like something happens in the present, and then suddenly you're reading a flashback of a memory that is pertinent to what's currently happening.
Sure.
So it's kind of like you're reading your own diary, almost. But you're not, it's obviously not you, you know. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's interesting the way...
Yeah.
Yeah, because, something is revealed to you, and then you get to go back and learn about when the character learned about it. His use of flashbacks in this is unique to any story I ever read, and like we've said before, is very skillfully done so far.
Yeah, because I mean I've read lots of books that include flashbacks, obviously, but they're usually embedded in just like internal dialogue. You don't actually flash back in time and get to like, oh, there's the timer.
Oh.
We can finish this thought.
Okay.
You don't actually get to flash back in time and like hear a like exact like retelling of what happened.
Sure.
You know? It's different. I really like it. So I don't know if slice of life is the right like terminology, but I
know what you mean,
you get what I'm saying. Though.
Yeah.
Because it's like we're just dropped in on their lives. Because it doesn't feel like we're in the middle of a plot of a story, because things just keep like coming up, seemingly randomly. Obviously, it's not random because Scott Lynch created the story, but you think the story is going to be all about them pulling off this con. And then you find out, well, actually, there's stuff going on with the Kappa. Well, actually, there's stuff going on with the Great King. And what's really the point of all of this?
To be more clever and more rich than everyone else.
Yes.
As the Gentleman Bastards would say.
Yes. Yes.
And hopefully they pull it off. I'm super excited to see where the next chapters go. I don't think I can wait until we record next to read.
We'll just have to record sooner.
Yeah. I'll have to take good notes.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Maybe by the time we record next,
like
the book will be over. I'll finish the book.
Oh, gosh. I
No,
hope not,
that'd be
because that'll be
impressive.
hard.
That'd be impressive.
Hard to go back and know exactly what happened in each chapter.
That was your final thought. My final thought is the interlude after chapter 5 is when Jean gets his nice little... We get to hear about his backstory when he first joins the Gentleman Bastards with Chains and the gang. And it's...
so good.
It's very good. It's very good. I'll say that. I love how he's kind of... He flies off the handle and basically beats up Locke.
Basically.
Well, okay,
Actually,
he grabs him by the scruff of the neck, throws him across the room, and punches him in the face. And he deserved it, so it's okay.
For sure deserved it.
He mocked him for being sad about his parents dying, literally yesterday. So he didn't know it was just yesterday, but
like 5
he's...
days, but
or whatever.
very recent.
Yeah, days ago.
Yeah.
So he definitely deserved it. He was not being very tactful. So...
Or just, he wasn't being a nice human being.
Yeah.
He was being awful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it was very cool, though, to see them come closer and actually become friends. And you understand more about their relationship now and like what Jean's role is in the gang. So I really liked the interlude, getting to learn more about him. And I hope that more characters get that. Like I hope Bugs gets one.
Mm-hmm.
I hope the...
Santos brothers.
Yes, I hope they get one. And maybe we'll get one for this girl who's apparently supposed to be in the gang but isn't around. We have a theory about her too, but we'll save it since the timer went off. So, moving on. And that concludes today's discussion on the Lies of Locke Lamora. Look forward to our next discussion. Until then, happy reading.